So once we do our factor analysis, it's really hard to tell what's actually going on. So one thing I like to do is to see this data in a graph. So we're going to plot the factor data, and we're going to put it into a line graph. All right. And then what we get is called a scree plot. And the reason why they call this a scree plot is if you ever look at a cliff that's being slowly eroded away, there's kind of a cliff, and then at the bottom there's all the rubble that used to be part of the cliff, and that's called scree. So often you'll find that a couple different factors, that we only really need like 3 different factors to explain what's going on with our countries. And then all of these other factors, they give us a little bit more information, but they really aren't telling us anything new. They aren't really telling us anything that we don't already know. So that's called a scree plot. Another way to understand what the factor analysis is telling us is to do what's called a biplot. And we're going to do a biplot of our factor data. And what this does is it kind of puts all of the correlations that the factor analysis is doing all in one plot. And what we can see here is that murder is, so there's this variable murder on one end of the spectrum, and then there is this these factors of reading, life expectancy, money, math, on totally the opposite side of the spectrum. So if we could imagine this, that the variable that all of these are related to is affluence. So people who are affluent have larger life expectancies, higher reading scores, more money, have higher math scores. And then on the other end, when you don't have affluence, you have to struggle in life, and there are more murders in those countries. But then kind of unrelated to that is being happy and your ecological footprint. So you don't have, even though ecological footprint might be correlated with life expectancy, they really are 2 separate issues. So ecological footprint is more related to how happy you are than it does your affluence. So this is really why exploratory factor analysis can be interesting, because it can help you look at your data and see how different things are grouped together in a way that you haven't thought of before.